Hi YouTube friends, welcome back to my channel. My name's Ellie and thank you so much for clicking on this video. 2024 has been a crazy one to say the least. I don't think I have ever done so much in such a short amount of time. I'm so tired now. It really has been the busiest year of my life. So for those of you who don't know, I'm a content creator and I focus on alternative music, concerts and festivals. I do dabble a little bit in alternative fashion as well, but music is where my heart is. I've been doing TikTok for almost 5 years now. Oh my god, I feel so old. And I also make mini vlogs of all the concerts and events that I go to on there. However, this year I decided to mix it up a little bit and start doing full-length YouTube videos. I have absolutely loved doing YouTube these past 6 months, and in 2025 I'm going to be doing weekly videos, so stay tuned for that. As I always say, any support means the absolute world to me, and you guys have been bloody amazing so far. I've literally just this morning hit 900 subscribers, so thank you so much. That's so cool. So in 2024 I went to a total of 5 festivals, 10 concerts, and I saw 69 artists live. I've really been getting through my concert bucket list this year for sure. So let's kick this off by rewinding all the way back to January. In January, I went to see Bring Me the Horizon's Next Gen tour at the O2 Arena in London with support from Static Dress and Bad Omens. I adore Bring Me the Horizon. They have a very, very special place in my heart, and Sempiternal is one of my favourite albums of all time. There were so many cool moments during this gig. We cried, we danced, but the best moment was when me and my 2 friends were lifted up onto our boyfriend's shoulders and we all sang together, and it was such a cool memory. Honestly, I will take that one with me for a lifetime. Moving on to February, I saw Enter Shikari at Wembley Arena with support from No Offence and Fever 333. This was my first ever time seeing Enter Shikari, and honestly I think it was one of the best live shows I have ever been to. They just bring a different energy to their concerts that I feel like I don't really get with other bands. They had some really cool stage visuals, and I finally got to do the 3 claps live. If you know, you know. In March, I saw Neck Deep's biggest ever headline show at Alexandra Palace with support from Drain and Knucklepuck. Side note, I really hate Alexandra Palace. I don't know why, I just feel like it's so out the way of central London and it's so windy there because it's on top of the hill. I still went there like 3 times this year though. I just love these guys. Neck Deep always put on such a good show. Again, they had cool stage visuals. There was a girls only mosh pit during She's a God, and some people had some inflatable aliens in the crowd. What can I say? I'm just a sucker for a bit of pop punk goodness, and they never fail to disappoint. In April, I saw Pierce the Veil again at Alexandra Palace with support from Holding Absence and Dayseeker. This was a super special gig because we actually got access to the backstage bar area. Ooh, fancy. And they had a foosball table in there, so we played on that before the show started. Unfortunately, I didn't meet Pierce the Veil themselves backstage. I think I might have a heart attack if that ever happened. But that was another sick show ticked off the 2024 concert list. May was the start of festival season. Woohoo! So first up was Slam Dunk South. This was the first time where I vlogged something for YouTube, so I remember going to Slam Dunk feeling pretty nervous because I didn't really know what I was doing. There were some of my favourite bands there like I Prevail and Asking Alexandria, and it was Yumi at Six's last ever headline festival. RIP Yumi at Six. All around, this ended up being one of my favourite festivals from this year because it was just such a lovely sunny day and it was really chill, and it was the first time we wore our clothing line to a festival as well. If you don't know, I own Broken Spirit apparel. You can shop at this link here. And I have my invite and wristband in this little frame which sits on that shelf just up there, so I can look at it and cry. This was the first festival that I got invited to on a PR list to make social media content. So yeah, this is very, very special to me. June was Download Festival. Where do I even start? At no fault of the festival itself, I ended up having a pretty rough time there. I had my first ever 2-day hangover, which obviously is completely self-inflicted, and I have well and truly learnt my lesson. Our neighbours crossed so many boundaries that we actually ended up picking up our tent and just walking away with it and putting it down somewhere else. And after that I started to feel pretty ill, and being out in like the cold and the mud and the rain really made it 10 times worse. Turned out that I actually caught COVID and had maybe the worst chest infection I've ever had in my life. But the positives were the artists were amazing. Me and my friends got given these tiny little frogs. This guy just came up to us all and was was like frogs for everyone, so yeah, that's cool. And I saw a double rainbow during Enter Shikari's set, which was honestly maybe my favourite moment from the whole of festival season this year. July was a really busy month. I went to 2 festivals that I'd never been to before. The first one was 2000 Trees. This was such a cool festival. It was a lot smaller than Download, but it had lovely weather, you were surrounded by countryside, and all the people there had a really strong sense of community, which was so nice to be around. They had some banging food there. We bought so many portions of collie wings, we might have even sold that stall out. And the last night of the festival was headlined by one of my favourite bands, Don Broco, who were also amazing. I was so impressed by this festival and I will 100% go back next year. The second festival I went to in July was called Vegan Camp Out. Now, before you click off this video because I've mentioned that I'm vegan, I promise you, I get it. It's not for everyone, I understand. So you don't actually have to be vegan to go to this. Everyone is welcome here. Obviously, all the food and drink there is vegan. And I actually tried deep fried cactus whilst I was there, which was really strange. Not sure I'd recommend it. It wasn't that great. There were talks and performances throughout the festival too, but we actually spent most of the time in the guest area playing on the cornhole game and drinking vegan tequila rosé, which was actually pretty decent. And yeah, all around it was July weather, so we had a bloody lovely time there. In August, I went to Reading Festival. This was a festival that I've wanted to go to for probably over 10 years now, so I thought I'd do the full weekend camping. I am 25 years old and I honestly felt like a decaying old lady walking around that site. It's obviously become a festival that's targeted to more young teenagers and early 20s, which I know isn't that much of a difference from 25, but trust me, it was very noticeable. I've never been walked into and barged out the way so many times before, and unfortunately the disrespect from the young people there was a lot, to put it lightly. However, positives were on the Friday, it was more of an alternative music day, so that was right up my alley. I saw Neck Deep ×2 because they'd done 2 performances on that day, Spirit Box, The Amity Affliction and Blink-182 all on the same day, which was amazing. If I'm to go back next year, I'll probably go for the more alternative day, which I believe is Bring Me the Horizon and Enter Shikari, so I'm absolutely buzzing for that next year. September was a quiet month. I didn't really do much then because I was absolutely knackered from festival season. So we are moving on to October. I firstly went to this little event called Emo Fest. This basically consisted of 4 hours worth of throwback emo songs. They had a DJ for the first half and then they brought out a tribute band and a girl singer for the second half. They did not repeat one song, it was just back-to-back Kerrang era bangers all night long. I went to this with my best friend and it was just such a bit of fun, honestly. This wasn't just a one-off event, they've done a whole tour around the UK and they're doing another tour next year as well, so I'm definitely going to go back to that. Next in October I saw Beartooth again at Alexandra Palace. Ooh, why does every band that comes to London want to play Ali Pali? They were supported by Landmarks and Polaris? I don't know how you pronounce that band name, so if you know, please do let me know in the comment section. These guys were the best supports from the whole year. Apart from Dayseeker at Pierce the Veil, they were really good as well. Beartooth were always a lot of fun live, and Caleb even had a flamethrower this time. He went to the little middle stage and done an acoustic cover of Mr. Brightside, and me and my friends sang our little hearts out, and yeah, it was just such a fun gig. The next event in October was Linkin Park's pre-listening party for their album From Zero. This was in a bar in the O2 Arena in London and we got to listen to it 2 weeks before the album came out. What I loved about this event is that it wasn't all just media and press people there. There were lots of fans there as well, which I thought was really cool of the band to do. Everyone was listening to the album through these big old headphones. It was like a silent disco. Yeah, very cool event and I really enjoyed the album as well. In November I went to the Download 2025 launch party. I will forever be mind blown and so grateful to be able to attend such an event like that for the second year running. Basically, the night consisted of chatting with some amazing people, drinking free cocktails, and I even managed to meet Rob Damiani from Don Broco, which, oh my god, I can't even put into words how excited that made me. He was such a lovely, friendly guy, and I got my photo taken with him as well. And then they announced the lineup, which was projected onto the walls of the venue. The headliners for next year, as you probably already know, are Sleep Token, Green Day and Korn. Now, I want to know your opinions about Sleep Token headlining Download, so let me know in the comment section. In November, I also went to a little gig in the Underworld in Camden, and I saw Mouth Culture. I spoke a little bit about these in my previous video, as they were in my top 10 list of songs that came out this year. They released an EP this year, and me and my friendship group are kind of obsessed with them, so we got ourselves some tickets. And it was a really great show. They are a really fun band, and it was really cool to go back to such a small venue. I'm so used to these big arena shows that this really reminded me of my teenage years. And last but not least, we move on to December. I saw Enter Shikari again at Lee's Cliff Hall in Folkestone. They finished the year by doing this little tour of small venues that are kind of out the way, or they just wouldn't typically get a chance to go to. It would be sick to see more bands do that. So during this gig, something happened that I've never actually experienced before. The barrier broke. Turns out it wasn't actually bolted down, so as soon as the first song started, everyone was pushing and dancing and it kept lifting up. So they had to stop the show, bolt the barrier down, and whilst they were doing that work, Raoul came out on stage with his little trumpet. That sounds like a euphemism. Raoul came back out on stage and played some Christmas songs on his trumpet for us, which was very fun. It got the crowd singing along. Apart from that little hiccup, the show was brilliant. A really, really hot, sweaty show, I will say. And that's it, guys. The 2024 season is officially over. If you want to watch any of my mini vlogs from the concerts and festivals and events I've been to this year, they're all on my YouTube shorts and TikTok. And I also have my full-length videos on my channel as well. I'm so grateful for this year, but I'm also very burnt out. So I'm going to go and have a very solid nap. And I will see you guys for my next video in 2025. Woohoo! Bye!